do whatever you want to do, whatever lights you up, whatever makes you happy, because the excitement that people feel through your voice of you just being you is going to light them up and going to inspire them to take the next step and do the next action. When productivity meets party with your girl, Party Perry, are you ready to turn up your happiness, turn up your success, and everything in between? Learn how to have fun while getting all your stuff done. Grab the red Solo cup and a pen, because we are about to party. Hello, Party Squad. What is poppin'? I am so thrilled, so happy and proud right now to have this episode. We have our podcast anniversary. It was on Sunday, March 27th, and we have been podcasting together for a full year. Me and you, boo, it's been a full year of getting to know each other, helping each other grow, and I have chills right now recording this. I'm just so excited that I'm here with you today, and thank you for tuning in. I'm just so excited. But today's podcast episode, I'm going to tell you the 5 things that I've learned through podcasting for a full freaking year. What the actual hell? And really talk about everything about podcasting. If you want to start a podcast, get a note and a pen. Go ahead, pour yourself a drink right now, because this is going to be the episode for you. I'm going to be talking about the equipment that I use, literally how I started from the beginning, from episode 1 to now episode 52, how to get reviews on your podcast, how to get guests on your podcast, how to stay organized, and everything in between. I am so blessed. I'm feeling blessed right now recording this episode. I can't believe it's been a full year. So crazy. My computer is at 52%. We just hit 52 seconds. What is going on? The angels are calling me. We are here right now together. But my name is Perry Richardson, and you are here for the year extravaganza podcast episode of Productivity Meets Party. It's been such an honor and such a journey being a podcast host, and not only a podcast host, like a 5-star podcast host, which is so crazy. I'm still stunned that we're 5 stars on Spotify and on Apple. Thank you to all the listeners, anyone who left a review. And actually, we are doing a giveaway right now. If you leave a review, go ahead on Spotify, screenshot that you left a review, send it to me at Productivity Meets Party, and just screenshot a 5-star review. On Apple Podcasts, you can write a review, but if you leave a review, you'll get a $60 store credit to Relita Couture. $60, honey. That's like a full-on outfit, sis. So go ahead, leave a review, and just show my gratitude and to say thank you for showing up with me for a whole year. If you enjoy this episode or any episodes, I would love for you to share it on your story. Tag the podcast at Productivity Meets Party. You can tag a girl at Party Perry. And yeah, just show the love. I just want to say thank you to you and really just say, like, I appreciate you. So go ahead, share it on your story. Leave a review, get entered for a $60 gift card. Make sure that you follow, subscribe so you never miss the party. And are you guys ready to really get into it? I actually want to do my see a chug, send a chug, and my party foul moment of the week before I drop all the goodies for you of really how to have a successful podcast from beginning to end. So I am still a little sick. I feel like I sound so congested, like listening back to the audio, but we're still pushing it through. I actually feel a lot better. Your girl had COVID, unfortunately. Pretty shocked and pretty upset that I got it. I've been super safe. I literally haven't really been going anywhere, and this is the second time that I've gotten it, and I'm double vaxxed. So it's just been a little interesting since I have it again, but I feel really good. The first day was like kind of the worst day, but now I'm just a little congested. It's kind of the first time I had it. I just pray I don't lose my sense of taste because food is just so good. So that little little pre-note to the See It Chug, Send It Chug. What my See It Chug, Send It Chug is, I just had amazing coaching sessions this week. Love all my students that just came into my round of the Content Creator to Paid Influencer course that I have. I have so much good topics for you guys coming up for the podcast. I'm going to start dropping some solo ones because the content that's coming through these coaching sessions is so valuable, and I know that everyone is feeling, that same way also. Like, it's just, it's so good. I got this whiteboard because my coach, she coaches me with the whiteboard and everything, and I just felt like so powerful. I don't know what it is, but when I'm on the whiteboard and I think it's cool to see your thoughts like on a whiteboard, to really see your thinking and your feeling and the actions that you take. It's so transformative. So I've been killing it. I feel so good about it. Got so many good juicy topics just about content creation and how to be confident and what to do when people don't support your dreams. So we got some good podcast episodes coming up. My party foul of the week is, have you ever just felt victim to your parents? And when I say this, like, my mom called me before this podcast episode. We FaceTimed for a little bit for about 30 minutes, and that just wasn't in my schedule to do. I was going to start this podcast like at 11:30. Right now, it's 12:23. Ever since the time change, I'm just saying, like, time is just going quicker than the speed of light. But my mom called me, and I kind of was just like, I don't want to answer it. And I felt, I don't know, like victim that my mom wants to talk to me and just wants to check in on me, that, since I am sick and she loves me, and just really just knowing that, hey, like, she just wants to talk to me. She just wants to check on me. Maybe she's bored. She just wants someone to talk to. How am I going to get upset or like annoyed and be the victim of my mom showing me love? So that's what I kind of realized during our conversation. I was so like aggravated. I'm like, I'm trying to do this podcast right now. And then just talking to her, I'm like, she just wants to check on me. Like, she just loves me. So are you being the victim of, I don't know, of your kids too? Like, is your kids coming up to you being like, let's do something. And you're like, just like annoyed. Like, it's causing such an inconvenience in your life to, I don't know, show love and support other people. Sometimes we get in that trap. So that's my party foul of the week. But yeah, let's get into the episode. All right. So the first thing that I learned, which I think is very important for anything that you do, is you don't have to have everything figured out before you start. So when I started my podcast, the only thing I really figured out that I knew that I just needed was the amazing intro song that I have. My good friend Wet Brain made my intro and my outro. Go ahead, check him out. All his stuff is in the description box. But I just knew that is something that I just was a non-negotiable for me, is that I really need just a really cool intro. But besides that, I really didn't know really what I wanted to talk about. I just figured out my content topics maybe about 2 weeks ago of really what the theme of the podcast truly is. I just knew that I wanted to inspire people and I had something to say. I just know that a lot of people I think my superpower is that I play the roles of, the party and the productivity so well. People look up to me doing that. It's just something just through high school and college. How are you going to this rave and you're getting straight A's and you're the president of the club and you're in a relationship? I have worn so many hats, type A personality, generator, literally everything. Let me cross off all my stuff on my list. I'm just such an overachiever, but I like to have fun too. So I've always just played a really good mix, I guess. I embody both of those really, really well. So that's what I knew I wanted to talk about, was the fact that you could turn the fuck up and also get your shit done. That's all I kind of knew that I wanted to talk about, and we just started from there. When I first started, I got a really, really cheap microphone off Amazon. It was probably $25. It was less than $30. but I really wanted to make sure that I loved podcasting before I spent money on my microphone and stuff that I have now. And I'll talk about my equipment. But I really just wanted to show up to the mic and just talk and see if I even liked it, if I enjoy the editing process and all the things that go into podcasting. And I truly did. There were some nights that I would just like talk and just kind of have like this therapy session and honestly just go to the mic and just be myself and just let things just kind of flow through me. And that's when I realized like, oh shit, like I think I love this. This is super fun. It's nice, doing this just in my room, no makeup on. Right now I'm in my pajamas and just hanging out with you. It just feels so natural. Do podcasting even from the beginning, and I feel like as time has gone on, I have gotten better with the podcast, obviously, but it just was already such a natural process for me when I first started podcasting. So I originally got that cheap mic. For my cover photo, I literally took a photo I took months ago, used Canva, free resource, put the photo on the canvas and put some text on it, and I called it a day. And I recently just updated the podcast cover because I just felt like we needed something different, something new. I wanted something to truly fit the podcast. I realized too, the cover art that you have is another way for people to really gravitate to listen to your podcast, because you always get like recommendations and you see that cover photo. If that cover photo is really speaks to you, you're more than likely to actually like press on the episode and then fall in love with the amazing guest. So I felt like I really needed to update the cover after, I don't know, it was like 48 episodes that I finally decided like I think I should do something different. So that's what I did. I want to talk about the equipment that I'm currently using. So right now I'm in my room. I think a lot of people think you need to record in a closet. I do not. But I do recommend at least having carpet. When I record anywhere with tile floors, I cannot stand the sound. It's just so bad. Currently right now, I do have my fan running. It doesn't seem like it's playing back, but it's just so hot right now. I need the fan on. It's like this 2 weeks of spring in Las Vegas are here. Next week it's gonna be summer for sure. It's getting hot in Las Vegas. But anyway, so I have my Blue Yeti microphone that I got from Amazon. I also got a pack of 3 pop filters. A pop filter is pretty much something that you cover on your microphone. Before I had a sock, I have so many P's in my podcast. Productivity meets party by Party Perry. It's just so many, and it was just so harsh in your ears. So I had to get something to actually kind of soften it a little bit so it's not too high, pitch in your ear. So I got that. It was a pack of 3. I got that from Amazon also. I actually have my microphone on 2 books right now, so it's closer to my mouth. I have my MacBook laptop, and I just record on GarageBand. For all my guest interviews, I actually record through Zoom. And then Zoom, you have the option to do audio and video. I just download the audio. It goes straight to my iTunes. And then I just take the iTunes audio and I drop it in my GarageBand. GarageBand is super, super, super easy to use. I love it. It's not too complicated. It gets the job done. It was a free thing that was on my computer. Since I have the newer MacBook and all the iPhones switch their plugs and they play in games, and I don't have a regular USB plug, I had to get a converter. I don't really know the term for it because I think of converter, I think of going out of the country, but having a converter to have the USB to connect to the new, I don't even know what they call these new plugs nowadays. But I had to get that also for the Blue Yeti. Oh, and I have headphones. I totally didn't write this. So I'm using Beat headphones. These are actually my little sister. Shout out to Addison. I just took them from her and she hasn't said anything. So I've just been using them for the podcast, because for the Blue Yeti, you do need to plug in headphones. I don't know if you can do Bluetooth. I've never tried to. There may be an option, but I do have to plug in, at least the headphones that I'm using. They're plugged in and they're on my head right now. All right. So the second thing I wrote down, I want to talk a little bit about marketing and all the marketing advice that I've like kind of learned and kind of like picked up through having my own podcast. I definitely think guests are the best way to help promote your podcast because it's not only you marketing, but it's also the guests. Also, too, I've realized to only ask guests who are active on social media. There has been times that I've had guests on and they haven't promoted it, and it's kind of like, ugh, like come on, just like I already made the content for you. You just need to add it on your story. That's all you need to do. I also recommend having the content ready for them so they can just add it to their story. They don't have to make any content. I also send the links, Spotify and Apple Podcasts, directly to the guests so they can have their links on their story. I'm making sure that the guests that you do have will post it everywhere. They'll tell their mama about it because that's how you increase your reach. Is once a guest tells people that they were on your podcast, hopefully they fall in love with you also, and then they keep listening and they become a part of the party squad or your squad that you're going to create on your own. So guests are a great way to get the word out. Also, too, it makes it way easier to record and get a podcast done. It's nice to just have the guests through Zoom. We get the content done, and then you just have to do the intro and outro. You don't even have to do an intro and outro. So, yes, 100%. I recently too, I put on here, I made a Google form for the guests to fill out with their name, their bio, and they actually upload photos. It's just so much easier. So when I have the content, when I'm ready to make like the Canva content and stuff, like I already have it. So when I make questions for all the guests. When I send out the questions, I also send a little Google form. Also free resources, free. You just need a Gmail account. And I just send it to them so they give me everything so I don't have to go find photos or wait for them to respond to me when I'm like ready to actually make this content just already there for me. So that's some things about guest and marketing. Also too, Instagram, make your own little Instagram page. Make sure that you post it everywhere. I post it literally on my Instagram, my Snapchat, my Facebook. I am going to start putting the podcast on YouTube. My goal this month was to start my YouTube. I have not started it. It is March 26th right now, so I need to get my booty in gear. My plan to put the podcast on YouTube just to be found by more people. I'm so sorry. How I get guests on the podcast is I just ask people. I go in their direct messages. I say, hey, do you want to be in the podcast? I definitely think the Party Squad would be interested to see or hear your story and hear your insights, on live. And I've had people pitch me to come on the podcast, and I've accepted a couple of pitches. So that's a couple ways to get on the podcast. Oh my God, partier. Did you see that EDC Las Vegas lineup? Because it's so good. My jaw literally hit the floor. So excited to see San Holo, Nitty Gritty, Back to Back, Wookie, Sudden Death, Ganja Night White, Armin van Buuren, Dylan Francis. The list goes on and on. EDC brought the heat this year with the lineup. Come party with me in Las Vegas, Nevada, May 20th, 21st, and 22nd. I would love to initiate you into the Party Squad. If you haven't gotten your EDC tickets, don't worry. There are limited tickets available for you, and you can go ahead, snag one in the description box right now. This is going to be like your last call to get your tickets because there's really only GA Plus and VIP left. So don't get the FOMO. Go ahead right now, get your EDC tickets. Tell me that you're going so we can hang out. Let's do something. You're going to be my hometown. Come on. Let's do something. I would love to see you at the festival and initiate you into the Party Squad. I am also doing a meetup at the Relita Couture pop-up shop Thursday, May 19th, 5 to 6 p.m. So I will see you there also. I would love to trade with you, give you a big hug, and say thank you, initiate you into the Party Squad. All right, let's get back into the episode. Okay, there are a couple of things that kind of just came into my brain after that ad. And it was, I use Anchor to host the podcast. So Anchor is a free resource, super cool. You upload your episode on Anchor, and then Anchor distributes it to Spotify, Stitcher, what else? Apple Podcasts, Google Cast. Like literally it does everything for you. It's free. They have an app, and then they also have, I don't know, a browser version, I guess. I typically do everything on the browser version, but it also gives you your stats, like how many people listen to each episode, how many unique listens, what platforms people are listening to, what country. So I 100% recommend using Anchor. It's such a great free resource. So go ahead, if you are interested, download it right now. It's anchor.fm. Anchor.fm. It has literally helped me make this podcast every single week, so you can listen to it and you can actually record your podcast on Anchor. So go ahead, check them out. So that was one thing that came in my head. The other thing too, when you first put your podcast on, it does need to get approved. So you will upload your very first episode, and it typically takes about 5 to 7 days depending on the listener, streaming service. So Spotify versus Apple, Google Cast, like all the different ones. It typically takes a couple days. So make sure that your episode is out live in public before you start advertising it, because the day that you drop your podcast is not going to be the day that people are going to be able to listen to it. So also too, I had to put that in there. But number 3, be prepared, but go with the flow. So I'm a planner, type A personality. So I have all the questions written out for the guest. Typically, I write all my scripts. Like I have notes right now to follow along, make sure we're on track, doing all the things, saying what I need to say. But it's also too to kind of just let go with the flow type of vibes. For the example, for the guests, a lot of my guest interviews before, I would ask the question by question by question by question, and I wouldn't really, follow up with them and really kind of dig into their story more, and just to get deeper in questions and deeper in, their thought process. And so I would just go question by questions and never really derail from the question list, And I think the best conversations that I've had on the podcast are ones that we barely even did the questions. It was just such a natural conversation. Whatever came up, and we talked about it. So I always like to have those questions, but before I was kind of scared, I think, just being a new podcast host, I guess. So, but now I'm finally right now I can totally talk to you. A couple episodes, I also mentioned that I was writing literally everything down. I would literally say the podcast in my notes and then read it back to me, and just going with the flow, just having some points and just having, whatever speaks to you, whatever flows from your beautiful mind and your body, and just speak from your heart. So that's the best thing that you can do, is speak from your heart. All right, number 4 is, if you want something, girl, you need to ask for it. And when I mean this, I'm talking about reviews. So the best way for you to get a review is doing a giveaway. So currently right now I'm doing a giveaway. I'm literally asking people and giving them an incentive to leave a review. So if you leave a review right now, you will get you'll be entered to win a $60 store credit to Relita Couture. I had Rosa on last week, one of the co-owners. Her story is so inspiring, literally housekeeper to fashion designer, and she couldn't find a job, so she started her own business. It's just such a great listen. You really need to, after this, continue on your journey through the party episodes and listen to that one. It's so good. So doing something like that, doing a giveaway. So right now, how the giveaway is being run. So you either write a review on Apple Podcasts, or you can tap 5 stars on Spotify, screenshot that you left a review on Spotify, because Spotify doesn't tell me who leaves a review, but Apple Podcast does if you actually write one. So you have to write one on Apple so I can see who it is, or screenshot that you tap the 5-star ratings and send it to me at Productivity Meets Party. The last day to leave a review is the 4th. So typically I have reviews or giveaways for about like 3 weeks or maybe even a month, really depending on what you want to do. Another way to get reviews is asking people. So I talked about a couple episodes ago about the model, how to get, I think it was like Get What You Want in 2022, that episode. Let me see the number. It's episode 40, How to Get What You Want in 2022. And I talk about the best coaching fucking tool in the world, the model from the Life Coach School. So I talk about that in that episode. But one of the things is getting really creative of the actions that you're going to take. And so I was like, I'm just going to text people, like my friends, like I'm just going to text people, can you leave a review? And they did. So just asking people, all the guests now, I'm like, can you leave a review? Like you were on the podcast, like, can you leave a review for your girl? So just ask people, don't be afraid to ask. So those are the best ways to get reviews is, hey, like closed mouths don't get fed. So open up and ask for what you want. All right, so the last thing is people don't want perfect. They want real. They want you to be yourself. I realized me writing all the scripts and trying to be perfect and trying to be the perfect podcast host and trying to run my podcast how other people run their podcasts. One, I'm going to not stand out. I'm going to be basic, average podcast and just go with the flow and just really do what you want to do and having no fucking rules. This is your platform. Do what you want. Say what you want to say. If you want to say fuck, do whatever you want to do, whatever lights you up, whatever makes you happy, because the excitement that people feel through your voice of you just being you is going to light them up and going to inspire them to take the next step and do the next action. So just be yourself and just fucking start, do it. The worst thing that can happen is no one listens. Like no one's already listening to you now. So like might as well try to reach your audience, try to reach people, try to show love. And even if no one does show up, do it for you. Do it for you and just show up for yourself and prove to yourself that you can do anything. Even when I talked about this with my coaching over the week, our first group coaching session, even when no one listens to your podcast, still show up. Even when someone gives you a 1-star review, still show up. Even when no one supports you, show up. Even when you're just recording through your voice notes because you're broke as fuck and you can't pay for a microphone, show the fuck up. Be yourself. Say who you are, your values, your story, because that's what's going to make your podcast stand out. And that's how you're really going to build your community. I think that's the perfect way to end this episode. Thank you for listening for a full year. If you've been listening from day one, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. I'm like about to cry, but thank you for supporting me in my dreams, in my business. And I will continue to show up for you to help you build your business and help you live through your dreams and through your heart and through your passion. So let's say thank you. I'm hosting a giveaway. Go ahead, leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You can win a $60 gift card to Relita Couture. Thank you again for listening to another episode 52, or actually 53 episodes of Productivity Meets Party. Remember, Party Squad, that just fucking start. You can fucking do it. I'm your biggest cheerleader. I will root you on until you cross the finish line. Even when you fall on your face, I'm here to help you get back up, and we'll do it together. I love you. Have a fantastic week. I hope that everything comes true for you, all your dreams, all your hopes. Literally, I hope you find what you've been looking for. So I love you, Party Squad, and I will see you same time, same place next week. Love you so much. When productivity meets party.